Hello, my dear friends. Today we'll talk about the new video meeting and negotiation between the presidents of United States and Russia. Of course, there was a lot of world attention to this negotiation because through this negotiation, through this meeting and the dialogue, all leaders around the world are looking the new model of world order. Of course, for European Union, for European countries, it also was extremely important because of dangers of new war on the Ukraine. In any case, it was very hard negotiation and it's not easy to analyze them because of lack information. But I'll try to underline 10 the most important things which should be taken out from their meetings and from the very short statements after their meetings. At first, we should remember that this is just a beginning of the dialogue. The first substantive talk between the United States and Russian Federation leaders, during which sides exchange concrete proposals and propositions, most of which will be behind the scenes. The dialogue appears to have been frank and thought with sides talking home with homework. We should remember that the Geneva meeting in 16 June this year was still in zero format because Biden and Putin only describes the existing set of problems between their countries and trying to determine whether agreements were possible in principles. In any case, these talks partially, albeit temporarily, de-escalate the military-political tension between the sides, including in the zones of hybrid confrontation, for example, Ukraine. The revival of the negotiation format will probably bring a reduction of tension on the Ukrainian borders at last until the spring 2022, when new Russian exercise may start. The very fact of this negotiation strengthens on the position of both the United States and Russia in their dialogue with China and definitely a form of political compensation for the Russian leadership. It should be understood that the presidents of Russia and the United States engage a dialogue on two levels at once. The first level, a global political and economic competition, and the second, direct relation between the countries. It is, to be honestly, it is at the second level that the greatest success has been achieved. The lifting of sanctions against Nord Stream 2, and 35 Russian citizens and the ban of investment in Russian sovereign debt are probably linked to certain pre-finished promises and guarantees from the Russian side. From security from wide range of guarantees should be from the security guarantees to Europe to the easing condition for US representatives and related interest in Russia. The United States president has not formally recognized Russian red lines regarding Ukraine, not NATO membership or development of military infrastructure of Western countries inside of Ukraine, because, in fact, it is not only and not so much about Ukraine. What is at stake in formal recognition Russia as a global state with its own external interest and spheres of influence? Most American elites are against it because they realize that by allowing Russia to draw a red line in Europe along the Ukrainian borders, they will eventually get such lines in the Middle East, Latin America, Africa, and so on. Not to mention further undermining of global liberalization and the role of international organization. And this is already a new world order, which the United States is not yet ripe to accept. In addition, this would guarantee for Joe Biden a serious domestic political crisis in the run-up to the congressional by-election. The Ukrainian issue has become a trigger for United States and Russia relations. And despite of exchange of tactical accusation, strategically and conceptually, the Russian and United States position on Donbas and Ukraine are coherent. The return to Donbas to Ukraine as an autonomous entity within a decentralized, regionalized or federalized Ukraine. At the same time, the topic of Crimea is not acute between the countries. It has been postponed for many years, for undescribable period of time. United States-Russian political consultations on Ukraine are likely to be restored soon along the lines of Nuland-Karasin and Volker-Surkov-Nuland-Karasin, whose task will be to re-energize the Normandy 4 and the Minsk negotiation format. Strategic decisions in such case will be made between the United States and Russia, conceptually and tactically ones in Normandy 4, implementation mechanism in the Minsk format. This train wreck situation in the last chances for the Ukrainian president and his team to take a constructive Ukrainian stance and try to make it the basis of political settlement. Otherwise, then either international cooperation to implement a peace plan written without Ukraine, including thought an internal political crisis or military escalation with Russia, and also a political crisis. How productive and deployable the new United States-Russian agreements are in the time will show whether or not there will be negotiation formats at the level of administration of President, Russian Foreign Ministry, and the State Department of United States. The new situation around not or new sanction, the date of the next meeting of President, and so on. In any case, this meeting was very important, and it should make a big influence of the de-escalation situation, not only between the Russia and the United States, but also between the West and East. It's very important for our Ukrainians, and of course we are waiting more actively position of our government. Thank you for seeing this video. Please write down your question. I will be lucky to answer for it. See you next time.